Welcome, everybody, back to another episode of Two Fat Guys in a Dream, episode number 32. Here with my father, Scott Steen. Scott, how are you doing?
Doing well, Truman and Scott. How are you?
I'm surviving. I'm out here. I'm all the way, hanging out. We've got results to talk about. Some good, some bad. We've got challenge results to talk about. I think mostly good. And maybe a new challenge that we'll talk through. We'll challenge ourselves for something new this week.
Okay. I haven't really been thinking about it, but all right.
Yeah, we'll just we'll spitball it live on air. That'll be good for everybody. Everybody will really enjoy that.
Okay.
As for everybody listening at home who's trying to think through, how can I challenge myself? You guys can listen to us fumble through how to challenge each other, so that'll be good.
See how the sausage is made before you have those delicious biscuits and gravy.
Right. My challenge is to not eat any biscuits and gravy next week. That'll be pretty tough for me.
There. That's a good solid challenge.
Yeah.
I do miss biscuits and gravy.
Oh yeah.
I do have a pound of sausage though. Truman and I will be making some gravy here in the next 2 days. I just put it over my high fiber toast and egg stuff. So it's
that's a Frank Steen classic right there. That's a Frank Steen.
What's that?
That's a Frank Steen out of biscuits classic right there. That's like Papa used to have the Frank Steens, obviously your father, my grandfather, but he had those like frozen packs of gravy that you could get at the store, and sometimes he'd warm some of those up and he'd just make a couple pieces of toast and just throw the gravy on over the toast instead of the biscuits.
No reason to let a good gravy go to waste.
Right, absolutely.
And gravy isn't super healthy on the planet. It's a moderation food because you're mixing it with flour. You do have some carbs in there.
Yeah,
but generally speaking, a little gravy, a little sausage gravy ain't gonna hurt you a bit. So
yeah, not too bad, not too awful.
Of course, because I live in a house with your mom, and I don't drink milk, all we have is like almond milk.
So actually, friend of the show, my twin sister, I don't know if you know her, Sawyer Steen.
I'm familiar with her.
Yeah, was actually Snapchatting me like last weekend, and she her boyfriend was in town and she didn't have any milk. She only had almond milk or oat milk, and she made oat milk gravy. And she said,
you know what?
He said he didn't notice. He at the very least didn't complain, and that's important,
I've done it a couple times, and it's fine. It's fine, And
okay.
Although we don't go out of our way to, we don't worry as much about the fat. We don't necessarily go out of our way to ingest extra fat. Like I didn't go out and buy cream,
right,
to make the gravy.
Right. Yeah. Right.
So you sacrifice a little in taste, but it's fine. It was fine. It's a nice treat. So I'm excited about that. Sorry, we went down the 2-minute rabbit hole on gravy. So super.
Hey, but but we talked about it in the realm of how it relates to health. I feel the same way kind of about gravy that I feel about like buffalo sauce, where buffalo sauce is just hot sauce and a little bit of butter. So it's not healthy to have buffalo sauce, but it's probably honestly better than barbecue sauce or ketchup.
Yes. I mean, if we're sticking with the premise of this plan, which has been successful for both of us, when we execute the plan, the butter is more healthy than barbecue sauce or ketchup, which has a ton of sugar and ergo a lot more carbs. So yeah. I do miss I miss barbecue sauce. I got to be honest. I had you brought me some beautiful turkey. I don't know if I should be saying this or not. Can I say this?
Yeah, I didn't steal it.
Well, I understand that, but they gave it to you for you to enjoy, and now you're spreading it around.
Yeah, they give me a platter and a half of banquet-sized turkey from Jack Stack. I think they understood that I wasn't going to go home and eat all that myself.
You dropped that off. I believe I have had 4 meals utilizing turkey since Sunday night, both breakfast, and I've made a sandwich each day. I've barely made a dent. I probably have used half of one of the 2 bags that you brought me. I put it into quart-size Ziplocs. It took up 2 entire quart-size Ziplocs. and I've gone through 25% of it basically.
It's actually
So
I'm feeling the same. I'm feeling overwhelmed by the amount of turkey in my life right now. But it's actually helped me with the challenge that you challenged me with sticking to my plan because it made it a lot easier when you have that much excess turkey to
yes,
just grab a slice when you're hungry for a snack.
I am dying to know how this went. I believe my challenge was much easier than yours.
Yes, but based
Um,
on who we
if,
are as
not,
people, yes,
if for no other reason, because I only had to execute my challenge over a 3 day period, and you had to do yours for a 7 day period.
right.
So you
Essentially,
know
you
what?
had to just keep working
Let
on it.
me let's do this.
Okay,
Obviously, we don't do a lot of rehearsal.
right.
Let's talk about our weights, then we'll talk about our challenges,
Okay,
and then we'll talk about new challenges. What do you think?
that sounds good to me.
Okay, all right.
All right, my weight.
Who you want to start with? You okay?
We'll start with me. I did not do well. So for those of you who listened last week, uh, we recorded on Thursday night, so weigh-ins were the next day.
Right.
I ended up weighing it at 246.5, which is even better than I thought I was going to be. So I gained half a pound. And we talked about it on here. I wasn't doing well. I wasn't sticking to the plan. I was on a bad skid and I needed a skid stopper. So that's why we introduced the challenges and things like
Uh
that.
huh.
And now I will say throughout this week I'm under this weight right now as we sit here on Tuesday night because I had a great weekend because again, not to get too far ahead of ourselves, but I didn't do as poorly as I do a lot of other weekends. So I don't have as big of a hole to dig myself out of and I'm actually, moving towards a good spot. So, but
Okay.
no excuses. I simply was eating carbs. I was eating what I wanted to eat. It wasn't even until, we talked about the challenge that I realized how unhealthy I was eating. Where going back and doing the things that I was supposed to be doing, I was like, oh man, this is like, I'm like, it's essentially just not giving into those temptations, but it's hard to start doing that again where you're like, oh yeah, to be
Well,
healthy, you have
and
to
you
eat
know,
healthy. And I forget about that.
there's a little bit of a psychological thing, and I wanted to talk about because I don't think we've talked about this. You and I both hit huge milestones. You hit
Yep.
250. I hit three bills.
Yep.
We both had monumental life changes that we were looking forward to,
It's
but
true.
we're still psyche consuming. It
Yeah.
took up a lot of headspace, and you changed jobs, and I changed abodes. I moved from one apartment to another. So
Yeah.
um, I think that probably pushes the diet, which under normal circumstances is a pretty high on the priority list.
Right.
But all the other things that had to fall into place, not only with these things, but all the things that had to be done to make those things happen, I think push the diet down lower on the priority list for us. And again, this isn't about making excuses, but this is about ripping open the hood and trying to see where the short is.
Right.
And that's my guess. There's probably like smart people watching the show going, yeah, dumb shit. Only took you fucking a month to figure it out.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Right.
But I do think there's a lot to it as far as prioritizing where your health is and where improving your health is. And I think for about the last, honestly, about 2 months, we have pushed that priority down the list. So,
Yeah, it's
uh,
a classic. Anybody who's ever played youth football, high school football, any amount of football, probably has had a coach that says, "Well, you got to learn technique because when you get tired, when fundamentals, when the play breaks down, what wins is technique." And that is kind of true. So I kind of fell back into my rhythm, and my rhythm, what it was is, like you see, I stayed about the same weight. I stayed 246. I didn't go back to eating fast food, fast food, fast food. I wasn't doing double taquitos in the morning or anything like I used to. But I also wasn't pushing myself to do anything further. I wasn't drinking soda every day, but I was drinking a soda every other day or
right,
not taking or just eating what the lunches gave to offer me without trying to alter it to fit my plan at all. And so
right,
it wasn't that I wasn't It's not that I was going back to my super unhealthy habits, but I wasn't pushing myself to be the best, healthiest person that I have to be, which is how I push forward.
Well, and that's kind of what happened to me over a compressed period of time. I had like a bad like 8 days, and when I say bad, I don't mean I was eating pie every day and drinking a gallon of soda. I mean I was eating like I normally ate
Right.
back before we started this journey. I'd
Yeah.
go out to eat. I'd have a sandwich and fries and a soda, maybe a dessert, maybe split a dessert, maybe not have. But I mean, I wasn't going nuts. It just
Right.
shows you what a fine line, especially at this age. That's
Yeah.
why I highly encourage you and anybody else who's in their 20s, in their early 30s, fucking do it now
Right.
because you
Because
still have a margin of error. When you get to be 60 plus, 55 plus, your metabolism is slowed down enough
right.
that you have no margin for error. It can still be done. And it's not necessarily even harder. It's harder to keep it off. You
Right.
better have a fucking plan that you're going to be able to do for the rest of your life, or
Yeah.
you're going to snap back in a hurry. I mean, dude, 10 pounds in 8 days is unbelievable.
Yeah.
And that was just, like I said, it was just fairly normal eating. So
Right.
yeah, it was eye opening, is what it was.
Yeah.
So
I
yeah, very
mean,
good.
we talk.
So
I
what is
mean,
it? What,
you only get to this size, or you only get big if you have a couple. Something that's probably working against you is your metabolism. You are eating more than your body is burning. I
yeah,
as just about our whole family is built about like me. We do not have a naturally fast metabolism. So even though I
now,
am younger, I do not have the leeway of, I wasn't eating 3,000 calories to stay at the
right,
same weight. I was eating probably 2,000 calories or 2,100, and I was having sugar. And so I was staying at the same weight because I wasn't doing the 1,700, the 1,600, or the 2,000 with 800 calories of working out that I should have been doing. And that's why I was staying the same weight slash gaining weight. And that's just the difference. And that's, so now that I have reined it back in, to where my metabolism is. It's all about working at a deficit, and you've got to learn where your deficit is. Getting back to that is important.
yeah, yeah, absolutely true. And it's something where we've never been one of those like little you've seen those little squirrely rabbit skinny ass people that they're always on the fucking go. And we as Steens, we realize the value of sitting when you don't have to be walking and standing.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We're not naturally hyper burning. We're not burning 4 or 5 calories a minute just by existing like
Oh,
some
I
people
lean
do.
on a door frame if I'm like talking to somebody at their office. You know what I'm saying?
You
I'm
bring
probably
one of
gonna.
those one of those little tripod stools,
Yeah.
like you see at the golf matches.
Like I'm like Bob Huggins.
Yeah,
You always have
yeah,
that stool
exactly.
out there. Yeah. I get it, Bob. I
Yeah.
get it.
So yeah, and this is a obviously that's a reference for all of our combo weight loss and college basketball fans, as Truman
Yeah.
makes an obscure Bob Huggins on the scooter, on
Hmm.
the knee scooter reference.
We
So
like to
nicely done.
encompass all the fans. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's absolutely true. So where does that put you? What was your overall gain or loss for the
246.
week?
So 246.5. I gained half a pound. I'm at
Okay.
42.94% overall. I gained back 0.61%. I'm at 35 total pounds lost as of right now.
There's something about gaining a percentage that is more jarring than the amount of weight. You
Yes.
know, for some reason, for me, it just hits differently. So
Well, in my percent, although my percentages are a little smaller than your percentages are, or
sure,
and so it's almost the reverse, or I guess they're bigger for me.
no, they're bigger.
Yeah, they're
There's a
bigger for
bigger
me. Sorry, but
yes.
so it depends on. I see it here. I'm like, well, I had 0.61 2 weeks ago, so that's fine, but I'm still only down zero point 0.5. I can see that I'm only down 0.62 for these, you know, 4 weeks, which is not great.
And
But
when we say it's probably a good time to remind people that when we say a percentage, it's not a percentage of our current weight; it's a
right,
percentage of our starting weight.
yeah,
So theoretically, well, not even theoretically, When we get to 100, we have reached our goal.
Right. Yeah.
As opposed to if you do it on a rolling basis and your percentage of your current weight, when you get to 100, you're dead.
You're dead.
So
Yes. Zero. Not
you,
even the
you would have
bones
been
are left, you know?
dead much earlier than that, to be honest. But
Yeah.
so that's for anybody wondering if my God, if there's anybody out there that checks our math, first of all, good for you.
Yeah. Thank God.
That's excellent. Secondly, however, it's what he does for a living, and I do it as a hobby. And it actually, math is part of my living as well, not to the extent that it is for him.
Sure.
So if you catch a mistake in our math, God bless you. Congratulations.
You earned
Should be
it.
some sort of okay. So as always, Truman, I've come completely prepared, and I have no idea how much I was. I know I had a good week. I know I have good weeks and bad weeks. If I had to guess, let me see how I can remember. 2.8.
2.8 is your guess. So, Scott, you weighed in at 296.2 for everybody. Last week, Scott weighed in at 299.5. So, he actually lost 3.3 pounds, which is 2.49% of your overall goal. Brings you to an overall loss of 36.1 pounds and an overall loss of 27.29% of your goal.
There you go.
Moving right along.
There you go.
It's a big week.
Almost back down to where I was.
Yeah,
Uh,
so,
walking is walking has made all the difference, Truman.
right. Yeah,
I, uh, I told you Milton and I were doing the strut with your mutt, and I don't know. I mean, it's that could not it may not even be the official name, but it's like for the ASPCA or whatever, and
sure, sure.
it's 31 miles in October, and they said like, yeah, if you want to get started early, you could do that, and I'm like, well, that's probably a good idea. Give us all the little boost we can. So we started last week and put about 5 miles in the books.
Nice.
So
Nice.
yeah, that was immensely helpful. The bad part is that we've talked about this before. We have a dog who fits in extremely well with his family. He does not. He also does not have a high metabolism. So we're not. The dog's not getting all those miles.
Right.
We're
Yeah.
taking one walk a day is about all I can get out of him, around a half a mile, and then I generally pick up the rest of the miles in the house.
We're just not
Um,
long distance people. Even my running workouts that I do, I told myself like last Wednesday, I was like, I'm gonna do because I normally do a 5K on the elliptical. I was like, and then and it goes a lot faster than it does when I run. My mile pace is like under 6 minutes on an elliptical, but on the running it's like 10 and a half to 11 minutes. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna run the 5K. I'm just not gonna do because it's my workout buddy's out of town, so I don't have anybody to lift with. So I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna do cardio. I was like, I'm just gonna run a 5K on the like treadmill, and then I'll be fine. And I got like a mile, like and a quarter into it, and my body was like, dude, no, we cannot do this. I was like, what? And I was like, and I just started to like get like just like heart pounding a little extra hard than it should be, and I was like, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna back off here and go do the elliptical. I was like,
I'm
whatever.
I read an article in the New York Times that talked about because I talked about wanting to do HIIT, the high intensity training. Well, it's is it interval it's
High
interval
intensity
training.
interval training.
So it's the double I. Okay, very
Yes.
good.
Yeah.
And then I read an article that said the most effective way was to keep your heart rate at about 60% of max
Mm-hmm.
for 45 minutes a day, if you can do that.
The fat burn
Uh,
zone, as they call it.
that's the fat burn zone, exactly. So I've been pretty conscious of that on my phone now, and I'll be the first to admit I'm nowhere near 45 minutes a day,
Sure.
but my goal is to increase it, and that seems with consciously being aware of that, that seems to have made a difference. That combined with eating a lot better.
Well, and
So,
I think that makes sense because I've always heard like weightlifting calories that you burn are like three
mhm.
times more effective for fat loss than cardio. And I'm wondering if it's because cardio pushes that your max heart rate is probably whatever you're doing on cardio, right? Like a 160, 170 when you're running.
You're
Uh,
the pretty good rule of thumb, and there's some controversy about whether this is good, but if you want just kind of an in the ballpark guess, you take your age minus 220, and that should be somewhere in the neighborhood of your maximum heart rate.
220 minus your age, you mean?
Yes.
Okay.
What did I say? Your age minus 220? Yes, it's not a negative. Yes, 220 minus your age. Sorry for
Well,
saying that backwards.
I guess it's the same number either way. It's just positive or negative. Because I was thinking about it. I was like, well, wait a minute. It doesn't matter. It's just put the absolute value on it and just minus one of them. But yeah, so mine is like you said it's your age, my 220 minus your age, so I'm like my max is
Yeah,
like 195. That makes
yeah.
sense because like I see like 180 and I'm like, damn, I'm like that's high, man. But
Yeah. Now I will tell you this: I was 170 plus climbing the stairs at Springsteen,
yeah.
and it was. If you've ever taken a treadmill test, and I doubt you have, but if you've ever taken a treadmill test, for those that have done it, that's exactly what it felt like. Where I couldn't get my breath, and I thought it was 50-50. I was going to have the big one, Elizabeth.
Yeah,
So,
well,
uh,
you talk about climbing the stairs at Springsteen. We talked about this on this show. I climbed the stairs at Mile High when I was at my
yeah,
worst. When I was at maybe my like right around Christmas, like legit probably pushing 290. And we sat 5 rows from the top of Mile High in Denver, and I legit was like, dude, if I have like a episode up here, I was like, this is gonna be a problem. Like I could have a problem up here, and I legit didn't feel like I caught my breath until like the middle of the second quarter.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I used to do a joke about not going to Colorado because I was a fat smoker and like there isn't enough air there for normal people.
That's
Um,
funny. Yeah, exactly.
and,
And so, yeah, I
well, yeah, well,
absolutely feel you.
we told the story about when we moved you down to Albuquerque. Albuquerque,
Yeah.
7,500 feet,
Well,
and you lived on the
5,500.
third floor. Huh?
5,500.
What?
It's a
No, it's over 7,000.
no.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay, I have to look that up. But yeah, you lived on the third floor. I made that trip once. Went, yeah, I'm gonna have to soak it all in on this trip because I ain't coming back.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there you go. All right, so
Uh
I'm happy.
this one says
Uh,
5,000, but I know for sure that my apartment was like 5,500, I'm pretty sure.
oh yeah, I thought it was more than that, Bobby. So I thought it was much higher than Denver. I thought it was another 1,000 feet over Denver.
No, but it is like Denver is like the
Apparently, I've
stadium
got it confused.
at the top of the
Apparently, I've got it
stadium
confused
is
with
like a
La
mile high.
Paz. So
What?
my bad.
What were you saying?
Apparently, I've got it confused with La Paz.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's right. We'll fucking do football jokes. We'll do geography jokes. We'll do math jokes. We are full service show.
We've
We
got
will
it
we
all
will
for you.
cover. All right, so let's talk about the challenge, Truman. My
Yes.
challenge was I'll go first because mine was the easiest and it was easy to knock out. I did a 2 miles in 3 days and or 2 of the 3 days walking a mile. I can't remember which it was, but either way,
2 miles
I
over
was
the
able to.
3 days was what I said, I
Oh,
think.
that was yes, that was easily done. As I was probably somewhere in the 2.8 range, 2.7.
Hmm.
Walked a lot at the fireworks show as predicted, and then spent Sunday getting a lot of steps in. So that was very good. But I'm dying to hear, and we have not talked about this, even though we've seen each other and talked to each other. We have not
Yeah.
talked about the challenge, and how that was going for you. So basically it's Tuesday. So you're going to be you will be 4 days. This will be the end of the fourth day of the challenge. You'll be a little over halfway.
5 days.
You start on Friday.
Yeah. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday is the end of fifth day.
I thought you had something going on Friday where we weren't going to count Friday.
No, I was going to the baseball game, but
Okay.
I only drank seltzers, no beers, and I had turkey, no bun, and just one small scoop of cheesy corn. Yeah. No, I
Easy, man.
followed it.
Easy. I did cheat. Kind of. All right. So have you stuck to it for these 5 days then?
Yeah, I treated it because what it really is for me essentially is that it's basically like keto except I don't Google what things are made of. it's like it's like keto where I go, okay, I probably don't need the bun on whatever this is, but I'm not
Right.
going to Google how much sugar is in this tomato, you know?
Yeah. No, that's fair. That's fair.
Or like so like
Um,
today, like let's see, let's walk you through today. So I had my
Spoiler alert: there are not much sugar in a tomato.
right.
Now, if you turn it into ketchup and put sugar in it, that makes it ketchup. Yes, then there's much more sugar. So anyway, go ahead. Yeah, let's walk through today.
Right. So this morning I had my protein shake. Pretty simple,
Okay.
pretty easy. One of those premier proteins. It's like 160. It's like 30 grams of protein and like 3 carbs. Whatever. So I had that. Lunch was I had vegetarian chili. Tina's
Okay.
sister made some when she was in town. Tina loved it, so we made it again for meal prep this week. So I had vegetarian chili. So
Have
that's
beans in it?
no beans. Tina doesn't like beans, so she took
Extra
out the
chili.
beans and she put in cauliflower instead.
All right. Well, that sounds awful, but yes, it certainly suits your purposes much better.
I enjoyed it. But it but it has like tomato sauce and it has like a spaghetti sauce that goes in it. So it's not perfect, but I put it in essentially as like a Campbell's vegetable soup like 3 times based on my portion.
Okay.
I was like,
Hey, dude, it doesn't have to be perfect. Did you like it? Did it serve its purpose? Boom, it's
yeah,
perfect.
right,
Nobody
yeah,
gives a shit. Nobody gives a shit if you go, fucking what?
right,
Spaghetti sauce? What the fuck are you talking? No, nobody cares.
right.
Nobody
But then
cares. Matt.
I had like a handful of Chex Mix or of trail mix, which is fine,
Okay.
And like I had like there's like a bag of chips. I had a couple chips with my chili, and that was like lunch. And then dinner, because I like I had a gin and soda because I played volleyball tonight, and then so I had that, and then I got home. I ate, like I said, a couple slices of that turkey, and I had a couple slices of
Mhm.
buffalo, like sliced deli buffalo chicken from that's an Aldi find. I had a couple of that, and I had a couple pieces of cheese, and then that was my dinner essentially.
Outstanding.
Girl
Outstanding.
dinner,
And
as the
did you
kids call it.
did you write your carbs down? Did you track? You say?
Yeah, yeah, I tracked. I think I'm maybe just over my carb goal today. But for the most part, I've been keeping it under my carb goal or like, it's making just the conscious efforts. Like we said, like on Friday when I was drinking, all I had was seltzers because the seltzers at the end of the day are like 2 carbs a seltzer instead of drinking a beer, and even your light beers are like 30 carbs or something insane.
Drink beer. Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely
So
correct. All right. Very good.
so we had so we had, Friday was that baseball game. Saturday we drank on this on in this set. I drank 6 White Claws, which are all, for the show, but so I just worked
Yes. I
everything
was forced to
around
drink.
that.
He was forced to drink 6 entire White Claws for the show. No
Yes,
one
yes.
believes that.
Yeah.
No one believes the show where you're going, oh, yeah, that tastes pretty good. Let me try this one. Yeah. You know what I need to do? I just need to finish those fucking bottles. That's what I need to do. Or
Well,
those cans.
I had
Sorry.
half cans. I had 12 we drank 12 different White Claws. I had half cans of each of them. So, that
Well,
was
you're the math guy.
yeah.
You say that's 6 cans.
Yeah, so that was my goal. I completed that challenge. I'm feeling great.
I was,
Uh
I was
but I'm
actually
just
only trying to drink 5, so I went over and above my challenge number.
no, I just but I mean, I didn't gain any if it, weight over the weekend, and if it maybe a little but not much, mostly because I just wasn't working out, and I didn't even work out the last 2 days, and I'm still already under the 246.5 that we talked about there. So, you know,
Outstanding.
that's just on diet. So much of what I've done on this show has been a lot of exercise and tweaking and dieting, which is made for the large ones, but even just getting back on the diet has made such a large difference instead of being at 250 on Monday, just trying to
Yep.
hard brute force work out my way essentially and still eat really shitty and still get down to 246 essentially every week. So,
Very
it's a
good.
big difference.
Very good. All right. Do you have you have challenge in mind? I think I know what I think I would like mine to be.
Okay.
It's just to stay on the Strut with Your Mutt schedule and have 7 miles, 7 miles at the end of the week.
That's fair because we're gonna record either on Thursday in 2 days or on Saturday. So I think as long as you're, or sorry, no, that's that's for Steam versus Machine. We're recording on.
Go home,
Maybe it makes
Truman.
sense
You're
that we
drunk.
just maybe let's just commit to
Remember,
recording on Saturday because then we can record them both back to back. Um,
we won't. It'll be, but we won't be able to talk about the challenge too much. I guess we can talk about how we do 4 days: Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
right, yeah.
Part of
Well,
Saturday.
if we give it all the way out to Saturday, then we've got 4 days from now, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So yeah, that makes more sense. So
So the challenge will start on Friday, and we'll record on Saturday. I'm going to tell you how I've done on my challenge so far.
I guess that's, or I mean, we could just talk about how you finish the challenge, and then we're taking the challenge to the next week. We're just on a weird recording schedule right now.
Just pick one. Well, see, for those of you that don't know, we do another show, and we try to do them at the same time, and that's an NFL show. So obviously, it has to be done Friday or Saturday. Ideally, we would do the show right after we weighed in and drop it right after we weighed in. See, that's the other thing that screws it up is you do your weird thing where you don't drop it until like Tuesday.
Yeah, yeah, because it's just how it fits into the release schedules of everything and whatnot. So yeah,
Well, okay, you're not
I,
Arista Records. You do 3 shows,
yeah,
4 shows.
yeah, yeah,
So let's see if we can fit that in because that would be, I think that would be ideal. We'll do our NFL show and we'll record it. We could even do it Friday night. I mean, I know it's hard for you to commit to a Friday night. We'll do it Friday or Saturday and drop it before the weekend's done.
okay. I think that's fair.
Um,
I'm good with that.
so
We're committing to that
and
now.
then that will be a lot less confusion and lag time as far as what we're doing.
Yes.
So
Okay.
for now, my challenge will be just to walk a mile a day until the weigh in, and honestly, I'm going to keep it going.
Right.
So and maybe for the next week we'll talk about upping it. Maybe
Yeah.
I'll try to go like 1.1.
Okay.
And that's kind of the magic formula, Truman. If you're trying to build your stamina, build your strength, about 10% a week.
Okay.
If you're lifting 3 times a week or doing cardio 5 times a week, uh, about 10% a week is the safe amount to increase.
Interesting. Okay.
So, I didn't know if you knew that or not, but
No.
that's always worked well for me. Try to schedule 5 days of walking or 2% every day.
Fair enough. Interesting. Okay. Um.
Anyway,
Okay. I think that's good. You continue yours. I mean, is it just safe for? Should I just continue mine until then? Then also.
yeah, I think so. I think so because I mean, have you done the work lunch yet?
So we went Monday. I played in a golf tournament. They had
Okay.
banquet style meals for lunch and dinner. So, like lunch, I got the hamburger. I went no bun. I just dressed it with cheese, lettuce, tomato, and put a little mayo on top. And then I ate that with a fork and knife. And I
Did
had like a bag
anybody
of chips.
say one fucking word?
No, no, nobody said a thing.
No, no,
No.
and we talked about that. But that's part of the limitation when you do it at work, when you do it on a date, when you do it in a public setting.
Yeah.
You worry, and especially at your age, you worry a lot more. Once you get this, my age, you don't give a fuck. Fuck you. What are you looking at? Fucking get back to your macaroni and cheese.
Yeah.
But when you're younger, you care. You care more. It's the way it is. I used to care too.
Right. I'm almost worried
Um,
because nobody said anything, you know?
right. Well, yeah. So yeah. So nobody said anything. You had a burger on with golfers in a very male heavy environment. A
Yep.
lot of razzing going on, a lot of back and forth, a lot of shit talking.
Yep.
Even in that environment, no one said anything to you.
Nope. Not
There
at
you
all. Not a
there
single
you go.
word. So,
Okay, so I would like to say, as a father and not a co-host, very proud of you. That's great. I'm glad that you did that. You didn't
yeah.
lose your nerve and you fucking executed it. I'm impressed.
Right. And dinner was almost easier because there was a big salad and then it was like turkey and prime rib was for dinner. So I
Oh yeah,
loaded up my
yeah.
plate. I loaded up my plate with half of salad at the start and then I did like they had green beans, so I just loaded up like a fourth of it was green beans, and I took like one little scoop of like au gratin cheesy potatoes. I took like a half scoop, and then I did one slice of the turkey and one slice of the prime rib, and
Okay.
then I
Yeah,
was in
that's
a good
good. I
zone.
mean, and most likely there was some sort of potato option there. So if you want to have, a half a spoon of mashed potatoes, or if you got little new potatoes, you want to have a couple of those, fucking knock yourself out. We're not,
Yeah,
we're not,
that's
we're not
and
keto
yeah,
kids here.
right, and that's what I was on, and that's why I had that half a spoon of cheesy potatoes. But I would say
There
that
you go.
if you're at like a wedding or something like that, dude, there's salad. It's
Sure.
it's a lot easier for you to not get to the end and be like, oh, let me get one thing here, one thing here. Dude, load up on vegetables. Load up on like that's why I loaded up on half a plate of salad and a quarter of a plate of
Yeah.
green beans. Because one, I'll tell you, somebody worked in the banquet industry. That stuff never runs out. You know what runs out? The entrees. The entrees maybe run
Right.
out, and even those don't run out. So I will tell you,
Um,
just load up on the salads. Nobody cares if you're. Nobody's like, ah, all the fucking salad's
you,
gone.
you know what else runs out? Delicious sides.
Yeah.
Cheesy
Yes.
potatoes, mac and cheese. That you'll see that shit start to run low sometimes.
Yeah.
So
So.
yeah, that's absolutely true. And there's a psychological element to having a full plate in front of you as well.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a bare plate that's got like a lonely burger on it or whatever, you're gonna feel like you're missing out. Man, you load up that plate with some salad, like you said, you are lucky enough to like vegetables. Take advantage of that. Anybody that likes vegetables, take advantage of that. They're very filling. Obviously, you live in the world, so you know they're good for you. You're going, well, the canned ones aren't as good as them. Fuck off. Eat them.
Eat
Eat
them.
them. They're still better than whatever else you were going to put in your gullet. You
Right.
think canned green beans are worse for you than fucking cheesy potatoes or mac and cheese? Come on.
No.
Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, there are some legitimate people that don't like canned stuff. Green beans have a very different canned taste. I can eat fresh green beans, but I don't like the something that just is. But most people can eat either one.
I actually almost prefer the canned green beans. Just growing up
It's
on
like,
like on school lunch green beans,
sure.
I got used to eating those,
Oh,
so I almost like the
you can say
shitty
it.
canned
And at
green
home,
beans.
too. We were sitting there fucking cleaning beans all day long to make fresh green beans for you fuckers. I know mom got them occasionally, but you're
Yeah.
eating green beans. 9 times out of 10, they're coming out of a can with a green giant on it. Or,
Oh yeah.
well, it was probably like a green pygmy. We were probably getting them at, the High V brand or
It was
whatever.
Hy-Vee.
So
It was a brown can from Hy-Vee.
it
It
was
was-
it was tall guy green beans or whatever. Now
yeah.
Aldi's the one that like rips off the exact packaging and the same design and
Yeah.
everything.
And
And
then makes a pun on it. Yeah, for sure. But
did
yeah.
I tell you that we went to a Price Chopper? Did we talk about that on the show? That I
No.
went to I went to Price Chopper to get stuff for the fireworks thing. Mom made like 17 side dishes and a bunch of stuff. She
No.
mommed out,
Mom?
dude.
No.
She absolutely mommed out and way overdid it. In fact, funny story. We get there and it was the guy that sets up the tent with the food in it. The main thing was walking tacos, and my friend Kyle said, "Bring some sides and pop for yourself." I'm like, okay, cool. My mom brings these beautiful sides, like three of them. They're huge containers, like her. She made a caprese salad with even had the balsamic vinegar to drizzle.
Yeah.
Had the huge macaroni and cheese with mozz in it. Just fantastic salads. Anyway, so we get there, and we take them up to the tent, and they say, "Oh, we don't have any plates because it's fucking walking tacos. So
Yeah.
here's your bag of chips." Now, I will say, there was like cookies and desserts and shit.
Right.
So a plate would have come in handy.
Yeah. Right.
But somehow people were able to get enough plates and they ate some of it. But I felt really bad for mom because she worked really hard. You know
Yeah.
how she does, man. She gets excited and she gets focused and she turns out some shit that is just fucking delicious. But anyway,
Yeah.
um, so yeah, we got there and no place. So anyway, what I was gonna say, we went to Price Chopper on Friday night. We needed a few things. Dude, the prices. What the fuck? I'm an Aldi guy. We talked to mom. First time I'd been in a grocery store that wasn't Aldi, and I've been in Aldi twice. The first time I've been in a grocery store since 2019. Um,
Yeah.
I've been in a grocery store in 4 years,
Oh wow.
and we're buying stuff. I'm like, the price is like, oh, now I see why everybody's bitching about inflation.
Yeah.
This shit's higher than fuck.
Yeah.
Like especially if we're getting some pops like $7 a 12. What the fuck did that happen?
Oh
What are
yeah.
we
No.
doing?
We like so Tina. We like the mini cans of soda. You know, it's we're getting old. We can't drink a whole can of soda anymore because you end up you get to the end of your meal and you're like, I'm gonna drink these last 4 ounces of soda, I guess, whatever.
I want you to know your grandfather would kick you out of the fucking family if he knew you were paying the same amount of money for 7 ounces of soda versus 12. You're out. You
Absolutely.
are out. I don't
Absolutely.
give a shit if you're the male heir. Nope. Nope.
Yeah.
So call one of the girls. They're getting fucking called to the big leagues.
Right. If I was the
Because
male heir, then we don't need to continue the bloodline. It's over.
oh, that's it. Bloodline's done.
Yeah.
Bloodline's done. If he found fucking 7 ounces for the same price as 12. I understand the logic. That's about how much soda I drink.
Yep.
If you look at it as the sunk cost, I only need 7 ounces of soda with my food. But I'll drink 12 because it's fucking there. And I'm not
Yep.
gonna pour 5 ounces of soda down the sink.
Right.
So
Exactly. Yeah.
first of
So
all, fuck you pop companies for doing that.
most
Fuck you
importantly.
all the way up. That's
Yeah.
just it's horrific. But I completely understand. As much as I will make fun of you every time you bring it up,
Yep.
I completely understand the logic because I will pour a soda. I will dump a soda um, if I haven't finished it because you're going to put it in the fridge and you're going to finish it. But every time you take a drink, it's going to be a little bit worse than the time before.
Yep.
And by the time you finish that soda the next day, it's going to be nowhere near as good as it was the day before. But yet you're still paying the same price, still the same amount of fucking sugar. So
Right. I
drop a
can
lot of
see. I mean,
bombs.
this can of soda, 80 calories. That ain't. It ain't. You
Yep.
know. Again, you shouldn't waste your time drinking your calories. But 80 doesn't alter it. A 32 ounce soda from McDonald's where you're getting 300 calories, that alters your meal. That's a whole side of fries, man. That's a
Yeah.
small fry, just about.
Now you're still probably getting 20 grams of sugar
I can't read that well, but yeah, probably at
in a
least,
little
yeah.
little can of soda. I think big cans are 35, 40, somewhere in that
That
neighborhood.
sounds right. Yeah.
Maybe more than that. But anyway, but I get it. And we probably have people that are listening and watching that love soda.
Yeah.
It's kind of a generational thing. You'll see that a lot. Especially like in the high schoolers and in college, they'll drag around liter bottles of Mountain Dew or whatever.
Oh, I knew
It
a
just
guy in college who would drink a whole 24 pack of Dr. Pepper a week. And I was like, man, that is crazy.
and yeah, and I'm sure that's only 3+ cans a day. I'm
Yeah,
sure
that's not
there's
that
people out
bad.
there that's just fucking normal for me.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you have that kind of pop habit, or for the people that aren't from Kansas City, if you have that kind of soda habit, and you can cut it down to a 7 ounce can once a day, or even better, once every other day, that's a fucking major win.
I think it's
Take your
soda in
take.
Kansas. I think people say soda in Kansas City. Sorry, I'm interrupting. Sorry. You're making a great point. Ignore me.
Well, I'm just saying, take your wins.
Yes.
If you're making improvements and you're not perfect,
Right.
God damn it, don't beat yourself up. Congratulate
Right.
yourself on the win. Try to do a little better next week. Try to improve by 10%. And Bob's your uncle.
Right.
Just take it easy on you.
5 cans of soda a week sucks. But you know what sucked more was you drinking 10 cans of soda the week before.
Right,
It's
right.
like it's a lot like bowling.
Take
It's
the
a lot
single
like
digits
golf.
and
You're
try
out
to
there.
improve.
You just got to beat yourself. You ain't got to beat anybody else. You just got to beat yourself that day.
That's a good thing. When I play golf, that is great news.
Yeah.
Uh, I could arrange a foursome that I could beat, but I'd have to make a lot of calls.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. All right. Well, I think that's it for this week.
Okay. Okay. Very good.
A good
Once
episode.
again, we I feel good about it. You know, we
Yeah,
talked a lot of stuff. I dropped a lot of f bombs, so you know, if you're listening with the kids, my apologies.
yeah,
But
yeah,
you know, tell them fucking go to bed.
yeah.
That's what
Right.
I'm saying.
That's what I'm about to do. I'm about to do. I'm gonna upload. I'm gonna upload this and go to bed. That's what I'm gonna do. So,
There you go. So
but
yeah,
hey,
we're.
guys.
I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to another great week.
Yep.
Finding some rhythm. I told you I solved the night snacking situation for the most part.
Yep.
Locking my shit away. I've got a walking trail across the weather's been beautiful. I'm telling you what, man. If you haven't been out there walking, last couple of weeks, if you've been thinking about doing a walking program, you're like, I'm gonna wait till the weather gets nice. If you haven't fucking been out there the last couple of weeks, you ain't gonna walk. All right, just stop
Yeah.
lying to yourself because that's about as good as it gets. I know it's been a little warm. It's been in the 80s. Fuck off. You know what?
Yeah.
It's October in the 80s. I'll take it every single year. Sorry.
Yep. Yep. This is about the best it'll feel working out right now outside because like 50s, 60s, I don't love it because I don't like my throat starts to hurt and I don't like it just and you don't get as good of a sweat. For me, it's something about getting a good sweat while you're working out that you're like, okay, I worked out, you know, and
Now, see, when I was like on the track team and had to like do a bunch of running and then playing like football games and shit, low 60s, upper 50s. That's fucking perfect. But
yeah, but I can still get a sweat working in 60s playing football. Yeah, that ain't no thing. Hell, I had a sweat
yeah.
rocking when I was in the 40s with no sleeves, you know? You just got to
What's
go.
that?
I mean,
Sure.
yeah. So, but yeah. But hey, guys, if you guys want to check us out, if, you know, I talked about uploading this. This is going to go over to the YouTubes at Open Disaster Productions over there. And check it out, Spotify, iTunes, wherever, you know, if you don't want to look at our face, you could look it up there. And if you don't want to, and if you want to see our face, look it up there, you know? Uh, I'm over there at
Put it
Twitter.
on while you're working out. Put it on while you're working out or while you're walking.
Absolutely. That's what I do. You know, it helps boost our views a little bit, but I do that in the mornings. Sometimes when I'm working out, I'll throw this up on 3 different YouTube channels and just listen to it. So, uh, you know,
Right.
at Steam Machine over on Twitter, at Steamroller over on Twitter. But yeah, guys, we really appreciate you for being here every week, especially as we have stalled at times. You know, for the people that are still sticking with us, we appreciate it. You
Yeah,
know,
I wanted to say that if you're hanging in there right now, if you're still listening to us, we appreciate it, and we're going to reward your patience with results.
yeah,
So we are
right.
super excited that you've hung with us. You've had the faith in us to get our shit together, and hopefully your patience will be rewarded. So yeah,
Yes.
there you go. Special
I think we've
special
got a
shout out
good
to you.
week. I think we've got a good week coming and a probably good couple months here. We got to make a big push before Thanksgiving, of course. So
That's right. That's right. That's right.
always tough day. So
Absolutely.
we got to. Are we gonna
We
do?
got
Are we gonna
we
become
got
a?
we got to cut wings for the big meat for the big Thanksgiving meat.
Yeah, you want to become like we can become a Thanksgiving 5K family. You want to do that?
I'm not sure that would be a much of a sell in the family.
No, I don't think so. Hey, but guys, we appreciate you for being here. The dreamers, the believers, even the fat guys. We'll see you guys here next week. You know, or in a couple days, whatever. You know, the release schedule's a little weird right now, but it's getting better. We're all getting there. We appreciate you for being here. And yeah, man, we'll see you next week.
Take care, everybody.
See you.